Family YouTube video, wherever you are, whatever you may be doing. Thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. If you jump on here live here on this Easter Sunday evening, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Make sure to give the video a like, thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so and share the video on all social media platforms. Earlier this week, unless you consider Sunday to be the start of a new week, and some people do, and if you do, within last week, I want to say it was Tuesday, I came on here and I talked about the new assistant coaches across the Power Four conferences in college football. Happy Easter to you as well, Kevron. Thank you for commenting, as always, because CBS Sports had a huge article about it, and they listed by conference each new assistant coach at every school in that conference. Now, of course, when I say assistant coach, I'm talking about offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. You know, you got to be a diehard college football fan if you're wanting to go find out who a team's secondary coach is or who a team's special teams coach is. Because let's be honest, most people don't even care who's on a team's coaching staff unless you play that particular team. If you don't play that team and somebody asks you, hey, who is so-and-so's defensive coordinator? You have no idea unless you play that team. But Tuesday, I ran down every new assistant coach in the ACC and the Big 12. So today we're going to do the Big 10 and the SEC. Now, you'll notice that some of the teams in those conferences aren't on this list because they didn't change coordinators. This is only teams that have changed one or both coordinators. Hey there, Bash Bro. Glad to have you here on this Sunday evening. So if you don't hear a team mentioned, that means they're bringing back the same OC as last year. And I'm only naming OC and DC. There are some schools that brought in a new head coach. So because of that, they've got a new coach, a new OC, and a new DC. But I'm just mentioning the OC and the DC. Happy Easter to you as well, Bash Bros. And the Big Ten, Illinois has a new defensive coordinator, Bobby Hauck. Maryland, offensive coordinator, Clint Trickett. Michigan has went out and hired a new OC, Jason Beck, and a new DC, Jay Hill. Michigan State got a new OC, Nick Sheridan. Nebraska got a new DC and Rob. Northwestern, they might have hired a new OC. This guy's been around for a long time, and he's kind of fallen off wagon a little bit as far as being at big-time programs. Some folks say that the game has changed. He's not adapting. And some folks say that he's just old and out of touch, and he's using the same plays he used 20 years ago, and, you know, the other team have figured it out. But Northwestern brings in a new OC, Chip Kelly. Ohio State got a new OC. He's from the NFL, used to be the head coach of the Falcons. Then he was the OC of the Steelers, and now with the Buckeyes, Arthur Smith. Oregon got a new coordinator on both sides of the ball, OC Drew Maringer, and DC Chris Hampton. Penn State also has two new coordinators, OC Taylor Mauser and DC DeAnton Lynn. Rutgers got a new DC, Travis Johansson. UCLA has two new coordinators, OC Dean Kennedy, And DC, Colin Hitchler. And the last team in the Big Ten, another name been around for a long time. Their new defensive coordinator, Gary Patterson. And now the last of the four conferences in the Power Four conferences, the SEC, Arkansas has two new coordinators. They're one of the teams that got a new head coach and pretty much changed their entire coaching staff. Their new OC is Tim Cramsey, and the new DC is Ron Roberts. Auburn got a new OC, Joel Gordon. Florida, new OC, Buster Faulkner, and new DC, Brad White. Hey there, Ishmael. Glad to have you here. And I think it's your first time being here, Ishmael. I don't believe I recognize your name if I'm correct. And this is your first time being here. For whatever reason made you stop by the channel tonight, thank you very much. Feel free to give the video a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends, tell your family about the channel. Kentucky, two new coordinators on the offensive side, Joe Sloan, and on the defensive side, Jay Bateman. LSU's got a new OC, Charlie Weiss Jr. Missouri brought in somebody who's been around for a long time. Seems like he has a lot of success at Group of Five schools, but not so much at the Power Four schools. We'll find out this year is different. Missouri's new OC, Chip Lindsey. Ole Miss got a new OC as well, John David Baker. The Gamecocks got a new OC, Kendall Briles. Tennessee got a new defensive coordinator. They pretty much had no choice. Their defense has just been absolutely atrociously bad the last couple of years. A guy that's coming from pretty much being in the Big Ten for quite a while, Jim Knowles. Texas A&M has two new coordinators. On the offensive side, Holman wins, and on the defensive side, Lyle Hemphill. And the last team on this list, the last team in the SEC on the list, Texas hired a new defensive coordinator, Will Muschamp, and he's another example of, what's that old saying, everything that's old is new again. I believe that's right, because if you recall, years and years and years ago, Mack Brown was still the head coach at Texas. So, yes, I'm going back quite a ways, but Mack Brown was their head coach. He might be the most overrated head coach in history of all of college football, but he was the coach. And Will Muschamp was their DC. And supposedly, the rumor was Will Muschamp had been named the coach in waiting at Texas because they thought Mack Brown was going to retire. Now, when I heard that, I thought, boy, what a terrible idea. Will Muschamp is not a head coach. And for whatever reason, that never worked out. I don't know if they thought Mack was going to retire or if that was just what they were saying, trying to get Will Muschamp to stay or what happened. But for whatever reason, whatever the case may be, he never was named the Texas head coach. And, of course, he's went on to, be a head coach. Other programs didn't work out. Now he's going back to Texas as their DC, Will Muschamp. Hey there, David. Glad to have you here. And Quincy, if that's the case, you must have one good-looking dad. But Quincy and David, I think both of y'all are new here as well. If it is y'all's first time being here, for whatever reason made y'all stop by the channel tonight, thank you very much. Feel free to give the video a like, a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, please do so and share the video on all social media platforms. So now you have a list of every new OC and DC at every program in the Power Four conferences. Yeah, I think I did, Quincy. You really don't have to ask for a shout out because I try to do my videos live, and typically if you comment while I'm doing a live video, I'm always going to say, hey, thanks for listening, watching, whatever the case may be. So typically, most of the time, as soon as you comment, I'm going to give you a shout out as long as you say something logical and you seem like a real person. If you're one of those people that just gets on here and comments and don't even watch the channel just to comment to see what kind of reaction you get, I'm not going to respond. If I feel like you're a robot, I'm not going to respond. If you say something idiotic, I'm not going to respond. But if you come on here and just say something logical and normal, I always shout everybody out. So Quincy and David, if y'all are new, thank y'all so much for being here. Make sure you come back another time because I go live just about every single day here on the channel, and I'm not sure where y'all are located at, but typically most of the time I'm on here between 7:30 and 10:30 Eastern time. So depending on where you live, you can determine, what time that is, where you're located. It's 7:30 and 10:30 Eastern time. Most of the time tonight, I came on here a little bit before 7:30 Eastern time, but not too much before. But on occasion, I'll go live at 11:30, 11:45 at night. But I just feel like most people are in bed by that time, so it's not a very good idea to go live that time. And sometimes if I'm home during the day, I might go live about lunchtime on occasion. That's a rare thing too. It's typically usually between 7:30 and 10:30 Eastern time. So David, I'm not sure what time that is in the Philippines, but I'm sure if you live there, you can figure out pretty quickly what time it is. If it's 7:30 or 10:30 on the East Coast, then you can figure out pretty quickly what time that is where you are. But nevertheless, no matter what time it is where you are, thank you so much for stopping by, checking in, and watching. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. But let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. I saw my friend walking his two dogs yesterday. And he said, they're not my dogs, they're my sisters. And I said, your sisters are ugly. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of three. Friends and family, how much you love them. By the way, happy birthday, David. Bye.